And what is up, everybody? Okay, today is Monday. I'm not 100% sure, but basically, this weekend, there was a tragedy. Unfortunately, Tim Hague, or however you pronounce, I don't remember how to pronounce his name. I think I remember seeing him fight a couple times in UFC, even though his record in the UFC isn't that good. But he was a champion MMA fighter. Okay, I won three different championships. One of them being the Canadian King of the Cage heavyweight title, which he had defended. There was two other heavyweight championships that he had won. I don't remember the names, and by the supposedly, even by the standards of the supposed official requirements for the MMA Hall of Fame. Granted, there's more than one, but one that's a little bit more difficult to get into. They say that you have to have achieved 19 victories before the 10-year mark of your career. From the time of your professional debut, you have to acquire 19 victories before 10 years. And he met that requirement, and three different championships. Not necessarily. I don't know if any of those were. The other two were world championships, but good for him. But he had fought in over a year. His last MMA fight was sometime last year. This Saturday, he makes the transition to boxing, regular boxing. Is brutally knocked out, is declared brain dead, and by Sunday morning he was declared brain dead, and today he is now dead. If that doesn't tell you the difference in safety between boxing and MMA, I don't know. I don't know what does. This man had he had 12 losses on top of his 20 plus victories or something like that. This man he's been fighting fighting mixed martial arts for a while. He suffered, he has defeats. He's taken a lot of punishment. Okay. Never, but never anything ridiculous, as ridiculously serious as this. The one time he's in a boxing match, he dies. Man, it's not like he didn't have. It's not like his brain didn't have time to rest up or anything like that. He had a year. He had about a year to, rest up, shape, but him not, overworking himself, him not taking any punishment, this, that, the other, and this is what happens to him. And you would think the opposite when it comes to mixed martial arts, because it's there's so many people think of it back to when it was still no holds barred. And even when it was no holds barred, it was still safer than regular boxing. You have to prime example, I started doing karate for the first time in my life, right? Now, I've been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts, amongst other, different martial arts styles. So, especially when it came to sparring in MMA or with kickboxing, I kick to the legs. You could kick inside and outside of the thighs. Because of the jiu-jitsu and because of MMA, you can shoot in, you could take down, you could do ground and pound. And above all else, you could punch to the face. I'm doing karate, and I just have finished helping with a black belt test for a couple of the adults that were actually moving up in black belt or getting a different degree of black belt. And I'm holding my own pretty well with them. Here's the problem. I can't fight them the way I would like to. I absorbed a lot more punishment because I wasn't allowed to grab them. I wasn't allowed to kick to the legs. I wasn't allowed to punch to the face. So imagine in boxing where you can't do takedowns and pretty much all you're doing is punching each other in the face. That's it. Not so much the body, just the face. Then on top of that, you get knocked down. Oh, you have to come back up. Yep. Standing 8 count, this, that, the other. Oh, yeah, knocked down 3 times. That means in a 12 round bout, you could get knocked down twice in each round. You could get literally knocked down, get your bell rung 24 times in one night. In one night, and the fight could still go on. Versus in MMA, the minute that the very second that they see that you go limp, fight's over. And I don't know the particulars. This is a tragedy. This is a tragedy. So for those of you who have these very misguided misconceptions of the safety between boxing and the dangers of boxing versus the dangers of mixed martial arts, this weekend should have proved it. Okay, um, I'm not an I'm not preaching against pro boxing. I liked it when I was younger. I have friends who are amateur fighters, and even went to a live pro fight recently. But then uh, I hadn't gone out of my way to watch a professional boxing bout since Holyfield Lewis 2, and then because I didn't want to be the only person to not see it, was uh, Mayweather versus Pacquiao, and now Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. I don't want to see it, but I have to at this point. I hate the both of them. So regardless of who wins, I'm not going to be happy. So, well, I don't know what's good. Like, I don't know what's going to go on. Like, I don't know what's happening, but I don't know who's going to win. Technically, I don't care, because whoever wins, I'm going to be pissed. And that's basically what boxing has become. So not too many people are watching it, and then you have something as tragic as this happening. It was his first time in a boxing match. First time in a boxing match, hasn't fought in over a year, and and something like this happens. It's ridiculous. The only thing close to this was, you know, uh, Ivan Drago versus Apollo Creed. Creed hadn't fought in a while. Then uh, fights against this Russian who's juicing, and and gets killed, and gets beaten to death in the second round. So I'm not. Yeah, it's like I can't fit something like that in my head. It's like hardly the only time anyone has ever died in sanctioned mixed martial arts fight. I mean, I think that like altogether was like 40. I mean, no, out of the 20 plus years that professional MMA, actually no, not even, I'm not even gonna say that, because a Shuto, which had been around since the 80s, is like the first form of professional mixed martial arts, and from what I understand, nobody died there, and that was shoot wrestling, shoot fighting, and then of course came King of Pancrase, nobody died there. UFC, nobody died in the UFC. Pride, nobody died in Pride. All the other ones that came out, Elite XC, Strike Force, WEC, all these all these other major organizations, nobody has ever been so seriously injured that their career was over. It's like even the few people that have broken bones have never been that have had their bones broken, have never been so seriously injured that they couldn't that they were either crippled for life, or their fight career was over, or died, for that matter. They were either unsanctioned bouts, or these fools had they just finished getting knocked out. They're suffering from concussions. They don't take the rest. They don't get treated. They sign up for another fight. They get knocked. They get knocked out and they get killed like that. It's it's basically freak accidents like that is what it would take is what would have to happen for something like that versus boxing records, a boxing record of deaths, which has been way more and apparent, has been way more like since the sport's inception, even all the way to now apparently. Like everything they do, like, and let's get down to the gloves, especially the especially the gloves. And I got ridiculed for this at one point as well, because gloves I had, they weren't the 16 ounce, they were maybe 6 ounce gloves, and they were and I was being ridiculed like, oh, so that means these guys have a greater chance of getting hurt. Actually, no. The little 4 ounce gloves that MMA fighters wear. I have a pair of like official UFC gloves, and what happens is they just cover the knuckles, so it hurts about as bad as being punched bare knuckle. And but the purpose of the glove is not to protect your opponent; it's to protect your hands. That's it. That's the only thing that boxing gloves were designed for. And the bigger the glove, what happens is that's more mass coming at your head, as opposed to maybe maybe 3/4 inches of foam versus like what 2 inches, 2 inches of leather and leather and foam and whatever filling that they decided to add to supposedly make it safer, and really you're doing more harm than good. Oh man, this is horrible. I it's rough. It's rough if it's rough seeing something like that happen. I hope he gets put into the MMA Hall of Fame, because by the standards of that particular halls of fame, he deserves it. Like having won three different championships, and having their um uh 19 wins by your 10 year mark. He's met that criteria, and God rest him. Hopefully, wish his family well, and that this is sad. I'm done talking. You guys have a good night.